Hi, my name is Julio Raspatello. Growing up, I thought God was a punishing God, so I didn't really try too hard. I left Catholic school and went into public school and started to hang around with the wrong crowd. We started to drink, smoke, and eventually into drugs. Then I started to put myself in some bad situations. And then when I had a few situations where I was going to get into some serious trouble, I would pray to Jesus to help, and then when I was out of trouble, I would go and do the same dumb things. I would remember Jesus when I needed him. I had an intellectual understanding of Jesus, but I didn't have him in my heart. I wasn't living the life. Then one night I was watching TV late, and when a TV preacher came on, he started talking about having a one-on-one relationship with Christ, and that God was a good God and wanted me to know Jesus because through Jesus there is salvation. This got my attention. So over the next couple of years, I listened to this preacher and even went to see him a few times. Then I went into a 12-step program to get sober, and in there I learned about spirituality and having a one-on-one relationship with a higher power. And by God's grace, I was understanding that a one-on-one relationship had to be with Jesus. Jesus was my only power. I got a promotion, not from my hard work, but from God's blessing, which I didn't understand at the time. I was really seeking the Lord, but not yet living in him. And one time, I let my emotions get the best of me. And as a result of a lot of workplace politics, I was demoted. I felt that I was done wrong. I was blaming everyone else, and I wasn't looking at myself. I have always talked to my oldest brother, Rep, about faith, but I didn't have the understanding he did. So I asked him what he thought about what happened to me at work, and he said that the Lord has me right where I should be, and I didn't want to hear that. I wanted him to be mad like me. I was lost, beside myself. Then at work, the Lord had put two Christians, a gentleman named Gary and Tony, in my life. I worked with them every day for the last 2.5 years, and we've been talking about Jesus and the Bible almost every day. This was not a coincidence. This was the Lord speaking to me through them, and my heart ached to know the truth, the real truth. I started to grow closer to Jesus. Then at work, another promotion came up for bid, and I was the most qualified of all the people that put in. And they gave it to a kid who was there for only a year. I was furious. But through Christ, I kept my emotions in check. It was not easy. But inside, I was mad, and I didn't know what to do. And one of my Christian brothers at work, Gary, said to hand it over to Jesus because we don't know why, but there is a reason. He may have something better for you down the road, and if not, then you are where you need to be. And I remember thinking, has he been talking to my brother? I realized I wanted to have the peace and contentment these men had in Christ. The Christians at work have been helping me understand that being in a right relationship with God is not about rule following or earning God's acceptance, but rather about trusting in what Jesus had already done for me. I came to realize that Jesus became a man in order to live a sinless life, to live the life I could not live. I realized that Jesus died on the cross to pay for my sins, and that all I needed to do was trust in him. By God's grace, I did just that. I started to pray for Jesus to help me with my character defects, and Jesus has always been changing me, which I didn't realize. Then my cousin Frankie invited me to a Bible study retreat with his church. I went. I met some really good Christian men. Frankie told me about a plant church they were starting in Trenton, and that Pastor Brennan was awesome. So I went, and I saw that he takes his message right from the Bible, and I began attending with Frankie. And then fast forward about a month, and another opportunity comes up for me to bid on the same position I lost 4 years ago. But I declined, and the very next day another position goes up, and it's a position that I'm highly qualified for and would like to have. So I said, this time I'm putting it in your hands, Lord, and whatever you do, I will accept. Well, I got the promotion, and now I will be going into the office, and my new boss, Mark, comes to me and says, on Fridays, Drew, Eric, and myself go for a walk in the park and pray for the facility and talk about faith. Do you want to come? I think he already knew the answer. I am so grateful for what God has been doing in my life, bringing Christians into my life and really transforming my heart. I want to get baptized today to publicly declare my faith in Jesus Christ.